I welcome you all to the Committee on Appointment of the County Assembly of Wajir. Honorable members, members of the press, friends of the committee, and members of the public who are with us here today. We are here pursuant to the standing orders of the County Assembly 1924 and 46(2) that require the County Assembly to vet the appointment of County Executive Committee members under Article 179(2)(b) of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 35 of the County Government Act, and also basically under also Standing Order 1924. Further, in accordance with the provisions of Section 6 of the Public Appointments, that is the County Assembly Approval Act, the proceedings of this committee will be open and transparent, and the committee will be impartial and objective in their interaction with the candidates. To the nominees, this approval hearing will mainly focus on your academic credentials, your professional training, your experience, integrity, and the background in accordance with the provisions of Section 8 of the Public Appointments Act. Honorable members and members of the public and the press, this sitting is just an extension of the plenary session of the Assembly. The rules that apply to the plenary session also apply here, and the powers and the privileges enjoyed by the members will also be enjoyed in this sitting. I just want to request the honorable members of this committee that we should be guided in as much as possible with the time constraints that we have. So each nominee will have a maximum of about 30 minutes. If in the course of the proceedings there are friends of the committee from the Assembly who are here, let it be known that it's only the Committee on Appointment members, honorable members of the Committee on Appointment, that will be asked, that will be allowed to ask questions to the nominee before us. With these few remarks, I now open officially our session, and before us is Honorable Khalif Abdi Ali. Welcome to the session. We kindly request you to give us a brief introduction of yourself, your personal background, your professional qualifications, and your work experience. Oh, sorry. Apologies. You have skipped that session. Introduction to members. Let me begin with one of the members from my left, Honorable Ahmed Abdi. Okay, go ahead.
Hamad Abdi Hassan, MCA Wargidugo.
My name is Abdirizak Nakat Ibrahim, MC, Minority Leader, a member of this committee. My name is Salam Ahmed, MCA Gurar Ward, Deputy Speaker.
Adile Yusuf Mohammed, Speaker of the Assembly.
Beji Mali Yusuf, MCA Jahan Ward, Majority Leader.
Maria Abdullahi Adet, NCA, nominated NCA, member of this committee.
Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Adnan Isaac, a member of this committee.
May I now start from the other side, the clerk, introduce the rest of the clerks also.
My name is the Honorable Charlie, the Honorable Clerk of the Assembly. I have our Secretariat. I will start with Abdi Mohammed Hassan. Abdi Mohammed Hassan is the clerk to the appointment committee. You can raise your hand. We have Abdullahi Saneh Hassan. He is our deputy clerk. We have Siyat. Siyat is the committee clerk. We have Birq. Birq, can I see Birq? Birq is a legislative and procedural staff. Abdi Rizaq is our legal counsel. Next to Abdi Rizaq is Abdi Kaisane Mayo, is our committee clerk for this committee as well. Then we have the senior members of staff. Bulle Suleiman Yusuf is the director for legislative and procedural services. We have our sergeant at arms as well. We have our communication and public relations officers. We have our research officer here, Mr. Abdul Karim. We have the members of the press as well. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. So we now proceed. Mr. Khalif, kindly give us an introduction on your bio, personal background, professional qualification, and your experience, please.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. My name is Khalif Abdi Ali. I was born in 1960, Upper Swain. I attended Yokashi Primary School. I attended Garissa High School. I attended Wajir High School. From there, I was briefly employed as a clerk in the Department of Social Services. I left, I went for training, did agriculture engineering, I acquired certificate in agriculture engineering. I joined the public service in 1982 as assistant technical officer. Between 1982 to 1996, I've been stationed. Briefly, I was posted to train farmers on how to use oxen polymer in 1982. Thereafter, I was moved to Garissa. I was stationed in Garissa MS, where I was in charge of plant hire service, design irrigation schemes, installation irrigation. 1996, I applied for a job in the Public Service Commission. I got appointed as a district officer 3. Between 1996 to 2017, I was promoted from DO3 to DO1, DO2, senior DO. Thereafter, 2009, I was promoted and became district commissioner. I served in Bere. I served in Lucia. I served in Nyeri. I resigned in 2017. I contested for parliamentary seat. I missed. I joined the public service and came back on a contract. I became a chief officer of irrigation. I resigned during the last general election, 10th of February. I contested, I didn't make it. And here I am now. I'm a holder of Bachelor of Art degree. That's my latest qualifications.
What are your plans in your department in response to the prevailing crowd in the county?
As for now, the plans is for the entire county. You cannot plan for departmental activities because it's a drought. We are new people. We don't know what budget is there. But generally speaking, I expect if I'm appointed, the first thing that we'll discuss in the committee or the executive committee is to how to relocate the budget to cover the prevailing drought situation. And that requires the approval of the county assembly.
Mr. Khalif,
Yes, sir.
what do you think makes you suitable for this particular job you are being vetted?
Well, I'm long-serving experienced officer of 40 years in the public service. Most of matters relating to conservation. I was in charge of Mao reforestation program when I was the senior DO1 in Narok, 2007, 2008. We were planting a lot of trees, and we were enforcing the acts relating to conservation and environmental management to avoid the destruction of Mao forest, which is the water tower for the entire northern region of Kenya and central province. Thereafter, I came to Carabina. I was also coordinating as a chairman of district coordination committee. I was coordinating the environmental activity relating to Mount Kenya. You are aware we all depend on Mount Kenya, particularly for those on the lower side of Wasunyero. And of course, there were a lot of logging during that time, a lot of unlimited access to those things. So over the years, I've gained experience. Also, when I was DC Secretariat, I supervised the forestation of, if you happen to travel by road from Embu, where you cross the bridge, on the other side of the bridge, that is Eastern Province. And I was in charge of Mbere, together with the district environmental management committees, we were able to change the face of that particular part of the river. For those who were born in early 80s, I'm sure none of you is here today, but the few who are here, there was a lot of land degradation that has been taking place over the years between the last 10, 15 years. Yes. So we decided to put some, to cover this, to reduce the erosion that is taking place on the river banks. We managed to put a forest plantation there. And today, if you go and visit, you'll see there's a lot of precision program that has been taken off the ground. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm also a team player, and I'm able to interact with everybody, including the members of this house, when as need arises to improve land management within this county, particularly matters relating to degradation and charcoal burning, firewood cutting, all those things, bearing in mind that there are people who drive their livelihood from those human activity that degrades our environment. So you have to balance between the human part of it and then the need to protect the future generation. So there is regeneration process, future generation, without impingement to the present generation to use the resource that is within their surroundings, their environment, and without compromising the future of the future generations' ability to use the same resources for their own good.
Honorable Marian.
Thank you. Mr. Khalif, I want to ask you, how will you manage the forest degradation and charcoal burning occasioned by the presence of the refugees in some parts of the county? Exactly, especially the Dagahli refugee camp, and bring the alternative source of energy.
Well, that one needs a constant effort within the national government. I've been working in the national government for the last 35 years. I'm able to interact with the entire enforcement agent of the county. Forest Service is not a devolved function. It's managed by the national government. So they are forest guards. They are also enforcement agencies like the police. So basically, we have to work with them in a way that we are able to control that menace. And then there's a good program that the county government of Wajir has started. Is what they call energy saving GCOs. I'm sure when you are approving the budget, you'll be able to see it. Budget has been allocated for it, and it is certainly as well. So we intend to intensify the energy, GCO saving energy. Particularly, we'll be working very closely with partners, the World Food Program, other friendly environmental organizations, with a view to address that issue. But refugee is an international problem. So basically for us, all we need to do is to a bit of control. We cannot really say we're going to eliminate that problem. And I'm glad everybody here is aware that Wajir district is 56,000 square kilometers. And most of the destruction of forest occurs as a result of agricultural activities, human activity, particularly agriculture. So agriculture has not taken place. The only place where we have some few farms is within Wajir town. And even then, we are telling them when you cut a tree, you must plant agroforestry, agriculture accompanied with forestry, a fruit tree that will also help them in terms of sustaining their life.
Mr. Honorable Khalif, my question to you is: there is a problem. There is problem of poor waste and disposal management in Wajir County, which comes under your docket as a nominee for environment. In your capacity as CEC in charge, what is the best solution to this mess?
Waste management occurs as a result of two things. One, careless disposal of waste by the local population here. That can be addressed through legislation. The public health department have powers of entry and assess. Ours, as an environment department, we are dealing with only those which cause either pollution. Of course, we don't have land, but we have air and sea pollution, land and air pollution. So, first and foremost, the sole responsibility of ensuring the safety of the public lies entirely on the Minister of Health, and it is a devolved function. But for us, what we will do is to use the NEMA Act to ensure that all relevant legislations are enforced with the support of course, the national government. Public health matters, anything that's injurious to public health, to the public, is normal duty. However, there is also town planning, town municipality council. But my department now, if I take over that department, lies with the national government, will ensure that environmental laws are fully implemented. Of course, we don't have river. There's also Agricultural Act, which clearly states that the limit of cultivation within the river boundaries, about 30 meters or so. So I think as a department, we'll encourage people to be responsible for their safety. And then we will also, the government, the national government has banned the use of these nylon, there are those which are accepted. But that's an eyesore. When you travel to, you are going towards the Baswedi, people are deliberately and intentionally giving the total operators some small amount of money, and then waste is brought from houses, and then because that one will stop it. I assure you, even if it means stationing forest guard and administration police officers. I'm happy my colleague there and his colleague in the administration were just together. So anytime I go to his office and I tell him this thing must be stopped, he will have to support us. So we will enforce the legislation which are already there, and then we will also plan to develop some legislations that are humanly possible. Of course, we will propose as a department. Then it is the county assembly that will be able to articulate and approve our proposals.
Bismillah. Mr. Nominee, what is your greatest strength and what do you consider for your weaknesses?
My greatest strength is my ability to interact with people. I'm a team player. I'm also focused. I deal with issues in the correct perspective. I have a lot of, I've been trained as an integrity officer. I have served the public for the last 4 years without any adverse report against me. So that itself is a strength. The weakness is we are human beings. Sometimes our people are very poor. They come to you, they start complaining. Somebody has not even had tea in the morning. He's carrying. So that humanity part of it is also our weakness. And the other weakness is that simply when I want to enforce something, I will have to think about it. What will be the impact of your action and activities? Because I've been served the public for the last years in different capacities and I've been working in many places. At least I've covered the entire Kenya, other than Coast Province. So some of the things, the laws that we legislate may not be very friendly. So sometimes to implement this also our weakness. We have to weigh between the national good and the individual interest. So basically, when you ask me about my strength is basically my experience. And I've been a catch officer, I've been in charge of mobilization, I've been division officer. So when I look Wajir with a bird's eye view, I'm able to say, Bute needs this, or Farar needs this, Banana needs this. Even resource allocations, you have to have the will and the ability to say, we will do this, and then you are able to do it. So I'm focused. I can be able to, through including the seeking help from the assembly, come up with programs that is able to help the people, our people. And particularly, the strength of an officer basically is his ability to convince. Even the legislation, when you are dealing with finances, like there's a program which is very dear to my heart, and I joined the county government, and they have been discussing. And that was, I was chief of irrigation, as I said earlier. So when we were putting up irrigation, I realized that the gaps which is there is that we are always talking about drought situation. Drought is not a new phenomenon, it's a recurrent phenomenon. So when you go to town today, I'm very happy. The grass that is being sold, the hay that is taking care of these goats that our mamas are keeping. We have managed to put 15 farms in a very difficult situation, in a very difficult circumstances. We were managed to equip 15 farms with solar. And I think I was the first person to do that. And that's why today you can see some women are buying from the grass from the farms, small scale farms, and selling them. That way. I'm very impressed when I see that. I'm happy because it will actually mitigate against this drought. So when we say we want to interact with everybody, the people, we seek public participation, and it is there in the constitution. I think that is a great opportunity for me, and that's a strength on my part.
Honorable Hamid.
Ali, I have seen the necessary experience, and since you have served the public service, what measures will you employ to ensure you have efficient and effective human resource policies in your respective department?
Well, uh, the core thing in that department is to have technical officers who have been trained to manage environmental issues. Lakini hiyo pia inataka utashi wa kisiasa, yani political goodwill, utashi wa kisiasa, political goodwill. If there are 3 directors, some of them are finance officers and they are directors in the Department of Environment, is a problem. If there are people who are basically, and then in the last 5 years I was in the irrigation department, I could see people posted there who are called administrative officers, yet they were not technical officers. We required agriculture engineers, we required irrigation engineers, we required surveyors, and this is why I think we have the assembly. The assembly is able to peruse the human resource part of it. We'll submit our requirement and reports. We'll be able to peruse it. And actually, it is this house that is supposed to hold the executive accountable, particularly the technical department that are able to produce food, the water, irrigation, agriculture, livestock, and all those things. So basically, human resource issue will be dealt on the need basis. If we have excess, and this county is not a secret, there was a lot of talk about ghost workers. So the first day I assume office is to ensure that people first they are there in their stations and they're working. Wajir district is very fast. As I said, it's 6,000 square kilometers. We need to have environmental officers in Bute. We need to have environmental in Ajawa. We need to have them in Habasweine. So basically, there's a lot of recruitment that has been taken previously, but they have not addressed the core function and the core requirement of the department. So that is the first thing when we go to a meeting, the executive will be able to discuss and come up with solutions so that we have more technical officers and then administrators and subordinate staff in the departments. Thank you.
Honorable Khalif, in the past, there has been little or no engagement between the executive and the assembly on the technical aspects of governance. If approved as a CEC for this critical department, what plans do you have to engage with the sectoral committee of the assembly in order to move this department ahead? And secondly, in the last 2-3 days when you are preparing to come for this interview, I'm sure in your mind you must have developed plans for your environment, for the department. Do you have a target of the number of policy papers and bills that you intend to bring to the county assembly to make this county move ahead in terms of economic growth?
First question was, of course, yes, I am aware there was no engagement. The 2 levels of government, the national and county government. I just want to start from top. The 2 levels of government, the national and county government, you have to work in harmonious respect. So the same thing applies to the assembly. Assembly are the ones who approve our budget. So there's no way we cannot be able to cooperate. After all, our target is the same. Our target is to have improved service delivery, effective, efficient, and service delivery. So I'll be very much willing to engage the committee relating to environment issues, because that is the committee when I even propose something to approve. So in terms of bills, I'll have to go back to the department and see the gaps. If it was an irrigation department or agriculture, I would have straight tell you, this is what I'm going to do it. But for environment, I have to go back and study what is there in the first place, what bills are there, what need to be done. But certainly, something which is in my mind is to introduce agroforestry, agriculture common forestry for fruit trees. Fruit trees do well in Butte area. They do well in Nas. Of course, the Waso Plains from Abaswene to Banani. That is an ideal land for farming. We have only problem in around this Tarbaji area. But even there, when we introduce irrigation, there are some farms we are doing very well. So what we need, what I will be able to do is to sit with the committee, come up with proposals, so that we are able to allocate, we get the necessary funds. When the budget is drawn by the executive, the committee is well informed of what we intend to do. Then they will be able to support us, tell us, no, the executive approved this budget, we want this thing to be done and adjusted this way. We also need to engage the committee very seriously, on a serious note, because when the committee is aware exactly what you are supposed to be doing, then your budgetary allocation become easier. My intention is at least to have, we have 375 boreholes in this county. At least we need to ask the Department of Water to give us 1 acre of our borehole, and then we introduce debts. I will ask even the committee to visit. There's a farm within Kamban area that grows dates. They're doing very well. And this, I think this is the right time. So when you plant 350 acres with a capacity, a carrying capacity of 63 trees, and after maturing, that tree takes about 3 years to mature because they will be imported. Within 3 years period, they will be maturing. So as it grows old, the maximum production that you can get is 500 kilos per tree. When you multiply that by 200, then there's money. Kenya basically imports 3 billion worth of dates per year. We can do it ourselves. We can only concentrate on one product. After 20 years in devolution, I don't see the reason as to why we are not able to take off and improve. Because now we have the resources. The resources are devolved to us. When I was posted in 1982 to Butte, there was no single agriculture officer in that area. Leave alone irrigation engineers, soil conservation officers, there was no one single technical officer. But over the years, officers have been posted. That notion of Wajir is dry land and there's nothing. In Israel, they have already converted dry land into very productive land. So it is upon all of us, and particularly the members of it, to come up with policies and programs that is able to move us from this poverty level so that we don't complain every time that we have been sidelined, we have been marginalized. It's only in our mentality that we have been marginalized, but in reality, the Somalis are very good in coping because the population is Somalis. They are very good in coping. Once you introduce that crop, every other person will be able to grow it. So we'll even seek the help of the assembly to support us in the program. I was talking to Northeastern Environmental Management Committee that I'm most likely to be joined in the next two weeks. And we want to come up with programs. Remember, there is a lot of money that deals with environmental issues. So we need to tap that money as a So before we even proceed and look at this little amount that's coming from intentional tourism, you don't have to look. My wife, as a district commissioner, exposed me to how organizations are supporting the population in various stations that I worked. That is what we are lacking here. This county spends about 85 million shillings, 2% of the budget on climatic change. If you ask, in reality, when you go to even the offices where the nurseries which are there are already dead. So we want to change this concept. Wamba. Money has been allocated, but there is no treasury of it. I want to ensure that effective management of the resources that is afforded to our department. And I'm willing to accept the committees to come and inspect every now and then and call us for the meeting. That is hopefully if you give the approval.
Lastly, Mheshimiwa, morale, the county staff is probably at its lowest point. So much so that technical staff departments do not contribute in terms of value to the county. As a CEC, what do you intend to do to incentivize your staff so that they contribute positively to the economic growth of the county?
What has contributed? I was a member of that government, the last government. What contributed that problem was the treasury. Once the treasury is streamlined, that problem will be a thing of the past. I'm sure you are aware the current governor, his performance, his track record is very clear. And most of them, they are waiting for the day when the Governor Wajir will take over. And I'm sure they will improve their morale because we need to change the attitude. But also remember, our people have very difficult attitude. Some of them, they want to become a ghost worker. If I play for you, somebody is telling me, Uncle, I want to become a ghost worker, employ me. That is the concept and perceptions. But when we come up with a program that for per shilling spent, there must be a productive relating to that program. The bill will be working. You can see when you are going towards the Hilton, the vehicles of the department are parked there. They have been recently brought from garages. So I think with the new management and with the new team, we will be able to change that. We will bring back the civil service to the point where it was. And I think, you know what happened to the other former assembly. None of them was brought back. So it's also a challenge to the members of the assembly. If you don't make sure that we work, you also lose your job. So make sure, as oversight authority, you make sure that we work. And we're very willing to work with you. Because if there is a problem with the oversight authority, public service normally do engage in other activities.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khalif. I think we have come to the end of this session. We appreciate your turning up and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I hope you'll give me the job.
Welcome. Please sit. Mr. Farah, you are here before the Committee on Appointment of the County Assembly of Wajir, pursuant to Standing Orders 192.4 and Article 179 2B with the Constitution of Kenya and Section 35 of the County Government Act. You're welcome here. We have the honorable members of the Assembly. We have the Secretariat of this committee and other staff of the County Assembly providing technical support in various forms. Then we also have members of the press. So you are welcome to this session. And we begin with you giving us a brief on your personal background, your profession, and your experience. Welcome.
My name is Farah Abdisaman. I was born in 1969 in Mandera. I went to Mandera DED Primary School 1977 to 1983. The certificate at that time was Certificate of Primary Education, CPE, not KCP. Then I joined Mandera Boys Secondary School. That time there were 2 or 1 schools. Qualifying to school was always difficult. So I joined Mandera Boys Secondary School 1983 and 1987. The certificate was KCE, Kenya Certificate of Education. Then 1988 to 1999, I was in Sheikh Ali High School. Got a certificate called KAC, Kenya Advanced Certificate of Education. From there, around 90, at that time there were not enough teachers in the primary school. So I was employed as a trained teacher. At that time, trained teachers were paid to support the teacher shortages. So 1991, I joined the KC Teachers Training College, now a campus, but I think now a university. So where I got a diploma in education. From there, early 19, I was employed as a teacher at Takava Boys Secondary School around 1993 to the year 2000. Around 1994, year 2000, I was transferred to Moi Girls Secondary School, Mandera, where now I went to a managerial level. From a classroom teacher, I was head department, guidance and counseling. From there, then around 2000, I was there between 2000 and 2000, 2000 and 2002. I was there for 2 years. Then I was transferred and promoted as a deputy head teacher, Sheikh Ali High School, where I schooled for 2 years, advanced level. So I was there also between 2002 to 2006. That time now I started, I was transferred to start a school in Wajir town. That was my first time to come to Wajir, 2006. I started a school called Honorable Khalif Girls Secondary School. I stayed there until 2009. So I was not comfortable with staying in a girls' school for a long time. So I requested the Teacher Service Commission to transfer to any school that is available, boys secondary school. So in 2009, I was transferred back to Mandera, a school called Rahamuddin Boys Secondary School, where I was a head teacher from 2009 to 2013. By the time I was working in Mandera, I had established myself in Wajir. I had two families, one in Wajir town and one in Grift. So I again requested for a transfer to Wajir town. 2013, I was transferred to Wagala Memorial Secondary School. I was the principal, the head teacher until 2015. 2015, I requested to join the county government. So July 2015, I was appointed by His Excellency FCP Ahmed Abdullahi as his chief of staff. Then, with the change of government in 2017, I lost that position. But I still applied and I was employed as Director Administration, Livestock, Agricultural Livestock, Veterinary Services, where I work up to today. So that's my brief.
Thank you, Farah. Would you speak up?
Mr. Farah, if you are given this position, kindly tell the committee some of your greatest strengths that may be handy and that you think greatest weaknesses. Can you please tell the committee your greatest weaknesses and strengths in discharging your duties if given this opportunity?
Thank you. If I'm given the opportunity, my strength will be, I'm standing on a 25-year experience, of which around let me say around 15 years managerial positions. So with that experience, I view it as strength. The other strength is that I'm already serving, as I speak to you today, I'm doing the work of the Director Administration, Agriculture, Livestock and Veterinary. I'm also acting for the CCO, who is now in Nairobi. So currently I'm already hands-on. And if given the opportunity, I will hit the road running, not walking. The other strength, which I see is the current government, including people who are working in the systems, I know them physically. I know the government physically. I work with him. And I don't think my suggestions and requests will be thrown out. I also view as a strength that I know some good number of the county assembly members elected. So for them also, they will support me. So apart from that, weakness. Weakness is an external observation
I don't think I have many weaknesses to mention. But one thing I have seen with myself in my working experience is that I'm very friendly to many people, even in schools. I do remember when we were cading quite a good number of numbers. Cading was banned recently, but we used to cade very well. And actually, the guys we cade are right now in managerial positions, and they are working and responsible. But in between, cading was banned. I remember when quite a good number of students had to be caned, and we are taking 3 to 4 teachers to do the work. I used to see some group coming to my line for that punishment and running from other teachers. And I'm also friendly, even to the staff. That one, I see it as a weakness, but with the being a policy, if I live in a policy-making positions, and I think the disciplinary matters, that will have affected the disciplinary matters if you are having personal relationship with everybody. Because I know they say if you want to please every person, you must go and sell ice cream and not go in a managerial position. Being in a managerial position and policy making, I live using the county chief of staff, the direct administration, the deputy administration, and the HR to handle matters concerning the staff.
When I produce your document,
Your Honor.
when I produce your document, most of the days teaching managerial administration.
Yes.
Now we are here for something different.
Yes.
That is agriculture, livestock, veterinary service, which is different from what you are providing.
Yes.
So how will you deal with this mess?
Yeah. Now, the position now I'm being given is a policy making and steering the strategy of that department. I have been ahead of the institution for 15 years. I have been an advisor to the government, and the government that was delivered between 2013 to 2017. I've been an advisor and a chief of staff. I do believe that I will not see much different things. If anything, I already supervise and do some of the work of the CEC. A week ago, I came from overseeing the vaccination. I went to Djibouti. I came back just a week ago. I went to Grisibov, Eldero, and back. So the activities of agriculture and livestock, I'm doing it hands-on. And that's why I earlier said that I hit the ground running, not crawling. So I'm conversant with the job of agriculture, livestock, and veterinary services.
Good morning, Mr. Saman. My name is Abdulrazak Dakat Ibrahim, MCA, Korondile Ward, Minority Leader for this Assembly. As you know, in successive years, there was no enough rain, or the season completely fails.
There was not enough training?
Enough rain, eh?
Oh, enough rain, yes.
Yes, enough rains, and the season completely fails. As you know, the economic activities of our people, of this society in this region, is purely pastoralism. I can say 90% pastoralism. Under the current situation, because of drought, there is no water, livestock almost completely gone. There's pastures and shrubs turn into dust. As the CEC nominee for agriculture and livestock, what will you initiate as the alternative livelihood economic activities for the people of Wajir, if given the opportunity?
Thank you. Generally speaking, we have to rethink our farming strategies. The way used to do things in farming and the way we're even currently doing is not tenable. We have to think and change with the challenges of climate change. Um, Currently, the farmers are cultivating a huge land, a very vast land, and pumping a lot of the underground water to the surface. And the output from the farms looks low. Um, we say there is low yield and high impact, negative impact on the climate, the negative impact on trees, negative impact on the soil, and the yield is not enough. So there will be a total shift, according to my view. Number one, we have to educate our farmers, those keeping livestock and those doing farming, that the way they used to do things has to change for us to have food security. We will initiate the use of a small land. We'll buy shade nets and do farming within that small land rather than putting a lot of water onto the land. Number two, apart from educating, the other thing is we have to educate them on the number of livestock they have. Our land cannot support any more livestock the way I'm saying. Eventually, if not in the next 2 3 years or even 10 years, we'll go to zero grazing farming. Meaning, we will interbreed the animals. Currently, 1 or 2 farmers are trying. They have the high-grade cattle. 1 month ago, I visited a farm where one farmer was supplying 20 liters of milk in the morning and 20 liters of milk in the evening. Just from one cow on a small shed. Now, 40 liters of milk, we don't get them from 200 cows which are on free range. That is the way we will all go. Number one is to limit the number of stocks. 2, to encourage zero grazing. Number 3, we say to educate the farmers. And also, if possible, those producing now small things, we link them to market. For farmers, we also purchase for them farm equipment and fertilizers.
Farah, I want to ask you, agriculture has been the backbone and one of the big four agenda in Kenya. Wajir farmers are experiencing loss of farm products due to harsh climate and lack of water for their farms. Kindly tell the committee how do you intend to help these hardworking farmers if given this opportunity?
It's a little bit similar to what I was just saying. The farmers, we will try to add value to their products, value chain improvement. How do we do that? Currently, the success story in Wajir is water lemon farming. But the disadvantage is that the farmer struggles, and sometimes the season is so good that they overproduce. When I'm saying we need to add value, is we have to think along the line of processing this, putting them into packets, then saying that it's water lemon juice made in Wajir. Between 2013 and 2017, the Department of Agriculture Livestock purchased a lorry purposely to help the farmers transport their product from the farms to the market. And I do remember even one time we helped them take those water lemon to Nairobi. So we will try to link them to market, those that are producing. The other thing is we are improving and we have worked on a value addition on camel meat. There is Niri we tried. There is a factory at right now at our offices there. It's supposed to be packed and sold. I think that's along the line we are going, madam.
Saman, having explained to us that you are a professional teacher, when you were employed in the county government, did you ever felt that the job you had been doing, that you have been assigned to, is a bit irrelevant to your profession?
The job I was doing that time, and that I think you're talking about when I was the then chief of staff, Wajir County.
I'm talking about the current one.
The current one, it is relationship with the teaching. Are you saying that?
Your profession.
My profession.
Have you ever felt that the job you are doing is totally irrelevant to your profession?
No, it isn't. You know, we are trained at the university level. If you see what I have done, it had nothing to do with the teaching actually. I did management, administration. I even did law, which was not relevant to teaching. I did marketing, and right now we'll do marketing in my working station to market crops. And I did marketing as a unit. Entrepreneur, I did as a unit in the university. It's going to be very relevant in this field. So if you check my certificate in business studies, it had nothing to do with the teaching. It was more of preparing me for any field. The question a little bit is similar to the one asked by the majority leader. But one thing I will repeat again is that for the last 5 years, I was hands-on. I was hands-on on agricultural livestock for the last 5 years. So I already know some livestock diseases. I went to the field, as I told you, as early as last week. I might go the day after tomorrow because I've already sent a team in the field. The 6 counties right now, vaccination is going on. I will go with the Secretariat supervision. So I'm already doing, and it has nothing to do with the teaching, I think so. Thank you very much, sir.
Honorable Adam.
Mr. Farah, why do you think that you are the most suitable candidate for this position?
Yes. I do think because of, I think when I was reading my biography, from the time I was born, to the time I went to the higher learning institutions, it really shows that I'm up to the task. With a 30-year experience or 25-year experience, and acquired a good part of it being in a managerial position, I think I fit the position. Number 2, I fit it because I'm doing it right now. And as I have said several times, and for fear of repetition, I will hit the ground running. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Farah. There's a lot of expectation from the electorate, the GEA society, in as far as employment opportunities in the county is concerned. These honorable members, some of them, they don't even spend in their homes because everybody is looking for a job. But you are aware the civil service can no longer absorb anymore because of the limits that are placed on us by Public Finance Management Act. And one way or another, we have to create jobs from the private sector. This docket that we intend to lead is probably one of the sectors we expect to create jobs for people. What ideas or vision do you have to somehow manage this expectation of the site and create a vibrant agricultural sector to create employment for the country?
Thank you very much. Currently, even when we are speaking agricultural livestock, as one of the honorable members have said, backbone of the economy in this county, and 90%, or even let me say 80% of the population is depending on that. So personally, we have plans, especially for the youth. If only they will also adopt the farming methods we want to promote. I have written personally at my level as a director administration to Solagen, as a private company that has just arrived here. They were telling me that they will help provide some money for some youths who can start farming. The youth, they say, will pay, the funding is around 30%. And the youth will pay 30% deposit. I don't know, that's around 500,000. Then the other 1 million they will pay within 18 months. So that type of approach is very good, giving them the first fund to start with, helping them to dig their shallow wells, giving them the equipment, giving them fertilizer. So starting groups of around 10 to 15 and owning a farm to grow vegetables, grow onions, and small other types of fresh produce. I think that will help them get jobs. The other thing is, God willing, and my intention is to take up with the governor to operationalize the export abattoir. The export abattoir, I'm sure, will roll out some employment, just like the Tamak Road did. Along the food chain, along the chain, that is those bringing the carol, those that are involved in fattening, those that will have feedlots. A lot of employment will come up once we operationalize our abattoir, export abattoir. So the youth, currently, the county government has surpassed this employment level required. I think we are around 40%. The recommendation might be around 30 to 38, I'm not sure. But it's still. And the policy of the current governor is to reduce the workload so as to release more money for development. So I'll encourage groups, and not even mostly for breeding livestock, but to keep livestock to zero grazing, to do small farms, and we have budgeted for irrigation infrastructure, including the big nets, and the solar system, in order to encourage the release of carbon to the atmosphere. So those are the areas we are thinking about.
Thank you. Lastly, if you go to sub-counties, let's say you go to Butte, General, you will find a senior officer in the Department of Agriculture with no staff. That's where the core activities of the ministry takes place, the sub-counties. While in the ministry headquarters here, you will find people who actually have no relevant skills in that department, and they're in hundreds. While at the place where real activity, production, value addition is supposed to take place, you only have senior staff, probably one or two. How do you intend to address this imbalance?
Thank you. That is now a human resource issue. As far as the Department of Agriculture Livestock is concerned, we have decentralized our services. Butte Town has offices. Butte Town has a motor vehicle, and there are staff. But as you have observed, the staff you said the junior staff may not be there. In the last 3 to 4 years, we had a problem of technical staff because our staff, technical staff, were aging, and over 40 to 50 of them retired. And those that are retired actually came from those areas. Luckily, some 2 to 3 months ago, around 40 young men energetic were employed. We've also transferred them to those various stations we are saying now. Ours now is to see that those directives are implemented and they work from their working station and that they are not coming to the headquarters. But formally, we had a stress on technical team. As I told you now, we have employed and posted 40 young men. I think only few, 3 to 4 were posted to headquarters. The rest have been sent to the field. I think that by now there will be a different change. There will be a change. And having somebody and being somebody from administration, I'll make sure I follow up to ensure that the extension officers are at their areas where their services is required. Extension of services, as you have observed, was almost dead just because the technical team were aging and they were retiring. But for the last 3 months, there were challenges of a new government coming in and another one going. So even induction course was not done for these young men. We've sent them to the field, but we have intention whenever the budget is passed to bring them and give them an induction course of 7 days, then report them to the stations.
Honorable Farah, thank you very much. We appreciate your time here and wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sadia, welcome to the Committee on Appointment of the Wajir County Assembly. We are attending today's interview pursuant to the standing orders of the Wajir County Assembly 192.4 and Article 179(2)(b of the Constitution of Kenya, Section 35 of the County Government Act, and Section 6 of the Public Appointment County Assemblies Approval Act to be voted for a CEC position in the Wajir County Government. Before you here are the members of the County Assembly of this committee. We also have the Secretariat from the County Assembly that is helping the committee in technical aspects. We also have members of the staff of the Assembly who are helping us in various forms. Then we have members of the press. So welcome to the session. I now invite you to give us a brief on your professional work experience and personal background. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Sadia Ahmed Agdi, born and brought up in Madera County. Studied both primary and secondary school in Madera County, and later on did diploma in social work and social development in University of Nairobi, and also did sociology, conflict and peace study, degree in sociology, conflict and peace study. During that time, I did some accounting courses, and I'm a student of CPA, Certified Public Accountant, Section 2. I did not finish that because after I finished degree, I went to look for a job, and I'm currently pursuing masters in public policy and public administration. I was working in the past 10 years. I've been working with both international NGOs, both in country and across border. I started working. I worked with different international NGOs, and like for example, from 2014, I was working with Norwegian Refugee Council, and as I started as food security and livelihood assistant, and in 3 years' time, I was able to grow within the organization, became the food security and livelihood officer, then be promoted as food security and livelihood coordinator. And one of the key achievements during this time, this 3 years plus time, was I was able to facilitate a lot of resource sharing agreements between pastoral communities, those who own lands and those who have no lands. And then I was able to facilitate a number of resource sharing agreements, basically on land farming. In 2018, I joined World Vision Kenya on a cross-border project, Kenya, Somalia, and Ethiopia. And it was during this time that I gained a lot of experience and an in-depth understanding of how the complex pastoral livelihood system works, the challenges that are associated with the climate change, and also the ASAL rangeland management. It was all about also land-related issues. In 2019, I joined my current employer, Masico, the Natural Resource Management and Conflict Officer, where I was working with both county, community, and national government and other stakeholders on issues related to developing community structure, putting in place community structures, and giving training communities on how they can prioritize their need. So I was able also to achieve results within 4 years. I was able to be promoted from natural resource officer to natural resource management advisor, and in my current position as county project coordinator. So One of the key result achievement under this, while I was with Masiko in this and working with the county government and community of Wajir, was we were able to come up with develop community structures. We were able to do what what development planning committees who are responsible of trying to gather all the priority needs at count at support at ward level, then advocate that for the inclusion in ADP and CIDP. So we were also able to facilitate and form county resource on rangeland management. And it was this county resource that supported us to come up with the rangeland management committee. And the rangeland management committees were able to facilitate some of our needs, critical need in land management, and natural resource management in terms of rangeland. And currently, as we speak, we have our priority areas for that specific project, livestock market system project, which I was working was in 5 wards. So we were piloting in 5 wards so that we will be able to cascade in the 30 wards. An example in that area is Bute, Wajir North, where most of our rangeland areas is. And we were able to facilitate with the county government.
I just needed a brief. We're not going to technical aspects of what we're going to be question on. I request Honorable Salan to be able to speak.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you this thing called the land register. You know where it's supposed to be legally, and probably Wajir County where it is now.
Land registry, the county government, it's under the county government, as far as I know, and it's under the land registry, under land department. Working with the land department from my current employer and the kind of relationship we have, I'm told the registry is manual, it's not automated, and one of the things that we are working with the county is how to automate the registry. So it's in the county, under the county government, lands department, and all the registrar is responsible, and all the collection of rates and all that is the registrar of county in lands that is responsible. So it's under lands department. I'm told it's manual, and one of the things that we are working with them and Mercy for now currently how to digitalize that and make it accessible to everyone through their gadget. Thank you.
Comes out here. According to your document, given your explanation, you are more of humanity. You are aware various households in the county have land ownership problems. There are instances where vulnerable people, such as orphans and widows, have been denied their chances to own land. How do you intend to address this?
Thank you, Honorable Member. And coming from humanitarian, he said I'm more into humanitarian, but I understand I'm also community member of a Wajir community, and I understand. And working with them, I was able to understand what are the challenges and where is the gap is, so that at my where I'm going to, I will be able to understand what is the challenge and how can we solve the challenge. So back to the question, land ownership, in the Constitution and Land Act, it's very clear how land is being owned. It's equitable access to land, and everyone have the right to own land. So there are so many structures in place to solve community and land issues, I guess, and it's in place in Wajir County. One of it is traditional dispute mechanism, which is also clear in the Constitution. Not having any discrimination against anyone, because land should be on to everyone. It should be accessible to everyone, irrespective of who you are. So whether you are women, if you're coming from any gender, it should not be a block for you not to get land ownership. So it is very clear in the Land Act, in the Constitution, and we will follow that. In case of any problem or in case of any challenges, there is a clear set of ways to solve. One of it is the traditional dispute mechanism. We also have tribunal committee, land committees who normally check into this and get solutions based on the expertise and as per outlined in the constitution. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Farhia Ahmed. My name is sorry, Saadia. My name is Yar Abdirazak Nakat Ibrahim, MCA Korondile. My question is, the land is very important item, very precious. When we see the entire country, everyone has land ownership and title deeds. His Excellency, the Governor, in his first inaugural address to this assembly, talked about digitalization of land and title deeds. As the Minister or CEC in charge for this docket, how fast, how and when will you be able to fast track and implement this idea? My second question is, in Wajir, I have just realized when somebody wants to build a house that is a plot of 100 by 100, when you want to erect, the perimeter wall of 100 meters, you have to pay 6,000 revenue to the county government. 6,000 by 6,000 by 6,000, and it is up to close to 24,000 Kenya shillings before you even start building the house. And people don't have money. The economic activities is very, very poor. So how will you also reduce that charges from the people?
Thank you. On the first question about land titling, yeah, land is a precious resource, and everyone wish to own land, and that is a big investment. I'm told the lands department, they have surveyed 18,000, as per even the speech from the governor. It's 18,000 plots have been surveyed, but out of that we have 700 whose allotment letters are ready. And out of the 700, we have 200 of which the title deeds are ready. So there's a clear, the process of land acquisition, acquiring a title deed is very clear in the Land Act. And that will be things that I will follow to fast track and understand if approved, I'll go to the office and understand what is keeping these 18,000 to start with. And then we move from 18,000, we can move to 30,000 because the data I have, or a general estimate if I give is, we have close to maybe 50,000 or 60,000 plots in Wajir. And if we all have title deeds assigned to all these, that will be a revenue to Wajir County. And it will be a resource, everyone will have a title to that specific resource. So we will be able to do that. The 200 that are ready will be able to issue, and the 700, 500 will be able, upon survey and validation of those documents, we will be able to issue the title deed. permits. So it's all about following the right process, because there is no shortcut to acquiring title deed. Because if you do that, the repercussion will be bad. So we will be following the due title, how to acquire the title deeds, and we'll be able to share all the 50,000 or 60,000 plots in Wajir have title. And we will be having case by case. Those that have problems like identification problems or ownership problem will be sorted aside. Those which have no issues will be the first thing that we'll be working on, so that we will have and encourage people to do the process. That is the first question. Going to your second question on housing and then construction, the amount people pay when they're doing construction is something that needs technical, because there are technical staff that are assigned to such specific duties. And I don't know the exact amount they pay or the exact amount that they are supposed to pay, but this is something that is you should pay through electronic or through the office, so that we will be able to account for. Yes, you paid this amount on which ground, so that it will be easy for us to fast track and follow up any payment you do on land, because that will be appreciation of on the land, the parcel of land. And I'm also aware on the land rating bill has not been passed by the House, and that will be one of the things that will solve the problem of this. But whenever we normally encourage, even we encourage as citizens to, whenever you're doing a construction, you involve the land department, so that you know where your plot starts and where it ends, and you already been advised on what are the things that you're supposed to do. For example, if it's that amount that you're supposed to do, it should not be something unplanned. You should be aware of it and put in place, or have that into your thinking and into your budget before even you do a construction, for legality purpose. Thank you.
Madam Sadia, I want to ask you, what do you think makes you suitable for this particular job you are being vetted for?
Thank you, Honorable. Coming from humanitarian sector, I was working with the community, and working with the community, you understand a lot the challenges they have and possible solutions that they think can solve, because it's only those who have the problem who will also have the solution. The solution lies within the community. And working with the community with all these years, I'll be able to understand what are the needs. And going forward into this position, I understand that I'm going there in their voice, trying to bring those policies and strategies that will support them, because I understand from the bottom up, I was working with them. And all these years I was working with projects, and one of the key things that I can bring into this role is how to do donor project management. Having understood that we will have in the county government, we will have a lot of donor projects. How do we manage this? How do we foster good relationship with the donors and be able to advocate and get more resource outside the county? So these will be the things that are one of the things that are bringing on board once if I'm approved by the honorable members. The other thing is in organizations, in any organization, whether it's private or public, human resource management is key. And once you do proper human resource management is when you can serve the community. That is where I'm coming from, and having as a county coordinator, I was able to have a vast, diverse team, managing diverse team and understanding what are their priorities, how to place people in where they can perform best, how to align them with the resource we have, and that will be something that I will be able to bring on board if approved by the honorable members. The other thing that I think I will be able to bring into this is land is a resource, as I said, and all development happens on land, whether it is education, whether it is water, everything happens on land, and land is one of the critical areas that we do our development. So coming on board, I'll be able to support all the executive members on how we can tap this precious resource. Like for example, in the last the governor's manifesto, or one of the critical areas that the governor is willing to address is like health on water, uh, meat production and exportation, drought-related intervention. All these, if you look into it, normally happens on land. And if you don't have proper land management and using plan, all these will not happen. So it's like a collective approach, and collective means all of us, so that if we have a proper land use management, all our investment and all our development will come into handy. Thank you.
Sadia, you remember this, land survey that was carried out previous years, although it has not covered the whole of Wajir town. Now that the land survey that was carried out have not been implemented fully in regards to obtaining access according to the survey plan, how best can this be done so that the people can have access to
Thank you. This is a critical area that we're supposed to look into, and as we speak, Wajir, we have the land development control bit, and we have finished the survey, almost surveyed 18,000. So there's a long way to go, and these are the things that we will prioritize and make sure that in Wajir municipality we have all surveyed, so that we start with Wajir municipality as we cascade to the other sub-counties. And we will take the learnings from Wajir municipality to other sub-counties, so that we will have a base to work on. The other thing we will be able to do is we will be able to have other surveyed sub-counties also, not only the municipality of Wajir, but do survey in all the other 6 sub-counties, and have land offices in the sub-county level. We have so many offices that have not been utilized, and those are the things that we're looking into, so that we will be able to have surveyors on the ground who will be able to solve issues and be able to identify and verify land. One of the other things that we will be able to do is digitalization of the land system using the GIS and the land department. So once you survey, you will be able to have that in the GIS system, and everyone can access and see where is the process of the survey, so that if it is validation stage or if it's in the initial stage, we will be able to know and follow up and follow up on case by case in each sub-county. So we will be able to have sub-counties dealing at sub-county level, and if they are not able to solve, they can bring that to headquarters, the Wajir County, but each sub-county should have done their survey. I'm told all the surveys in 6 sub-counties have been done, but they have not been validated. So those are the things that we will be looking to. Thank you.
Honorable Adam.
Honorable nominee, have you ever done any services to your community, for the community? And if yes, kindly brief us your greatest achievement.
Thank you. As I've said, community is my pride, and we started. There's some personal initiative that we started, especially uh, during critical areas like the COVID-19 time and drought time. So there were some groups that we established and called Servant of Sisters, and we were able to support those vulnerable community members with food distribution, uh, providing detergents to some of the prayers areas like mosques. We were able to do visits to the hospitals during that time, so that we will be able to give hurt to those who were affected by the COVID-19. That was the thing that I was able to take part, and I was proud of that. Thank you.
Honorable Sadia, this the clerk here is requesting that you repeat the organizations you served in the community. Yeah, sorry. The personal organizations that you're using to serve communities.
It's not personal organizations. It was just sisters coming together, and we formed these. We were able to form WhatsApp groups, collect contributions, and use that to serve the community. So it was not an organization registered on that, no, but we call that servant of sisters. It was just people coming together, sisters coming together specifically. It was not a registered organization.
Thank you. Sadia, in this executive appointment, we have you and two other ladies who are appointed as CECs. It's a constitutional requirement. Along with them, what do you intend to do? This might not be related to portfolio. But what do you intend to do for the women in the jail?
Outside my role.
The portfolio will be appointed for.
We're able to have a concerted effort together and try to sit with them, see where we can support as women in leadership, especially to the younger generation who are coming up. Yeah. Be a role model to them and be able to mentor some of them to and try to make them understand the challenges on the way and how to avert them. So those will be things that I'll be willing to work with them on that. Thank you.
Lastly, where do you see Wajir in 5 years' time?
Wish I can show you the projected GIS, using the GIS, how Wajir will look like in maybe 30 years to come. But my thinking is we will have an organized settlements, an organized a county that have their own rangeland areas, a county that have managed their land in such a way that we don't have conflict with our neighboring areas, a county that have a special county information system, and a county that have digitalized all their development, so that by click of button everyone can know and the community can interrogate and know what we are doing. Give us feedback on the GIS system. My aim is to have a digitalized system for the whole development we are doing in Wajir, so that it can speak for itself and it will not be attached to individual, because if I go, system will be there up and running.
Sometimes you might not be having political goodwill in order to support the vision you have for the department. In such a circumstance, what will you do?
I believe in having a personal stand, personal ground, and having a communication. I believe in communication and advocate for what I think is right. So I'll be having a one-to-one communication, a one-to-one discussion with whoever I think will be able to push that agenda forward. And I will not tire to get what I think the people of Wajir needs until we get. So I will not be having a problem in solving. Clear communication, clear plans, clear policies that supports, and clear legal backing.
Thank you very much, Sadia, for your time. We have come to the end of your session, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you. So colleagues, we'll have a 10-minute break for our tea. Then we'll proceed from there.